First of all, I just want to say congratulations. I mean, it is a big news that you're heading to one of the European leagues, and you tell me about it. Like, how you feeling about this?
I think it's just like there's a lot of emotions. Like I feel like going and being like the first there. Obviously, you always want to do that. Like you always want to be the first one and stuff like that. But like it's exciting. I think I'm nervous and excited at the same time, but more excited because like going to Greece, like that's a great place to start your career, especially as a pro. You know, great place, great lifestyle, and great coaches. So excited for sure. Yeah.
You'll see this as your biggest milestone till now in your career.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
would.
I mean, for Indian basketball as well, we see it as a big announcement because we've not seen something like this before. But let's like rewind back to the very beginning, right? Where you
Ooh.
started. Where did you
Yeah.
start with this sport? How did you fall in love with the sport? And we've heard a lot about your father's role as well. So, yeah, if we can rewind back to the very beginning.
I think I started playing basketball in 7, 8. My dad used to play basketball, so like basically I would just go um stand by the pole and just watch him play with like 35-year-old men, and I'm just like, ooh, this is interesting, you know? And then just kind of watching him, and I was like, wait, I want to do this, you know? But like again, like I wasn't sure because there was like no women's basketball team at that time. There was like not like a role model in my city that I could look up to or
Yeah.
that I could think that, oh, wait, somebody from my city could make it happen.
Yeah.
And in that time, like, I had no idea about like D1 or NCAA and stuff like that. So, like, I would just think about like Indian national team, like, that was my biggest goal. But at the same time, I'm like,
Right.
wait, like, is that possible? Because there's like no one I've ever seen. So like just yeah, basically watching my dad how it started, and he was the one who coached me for like 7, 8 years.
Yeah.
Really coached me hard because you know when your parents are the one coaching you, like it's a different story, you know. They just want you to be perfect and stuff like that. But I think that really like him coaching me hard and him putting me through the battles on and off the court really helped me kind of like mold myself into the person I've become today, and also especially the player I've become today. So yeah, huge thanks to him, but then also just like when I was like younger, it didn't make sense. I'm like, why is he putting me through this? Why is he putting me through that? Like, what is going on? But like now, like going through challenges and adversity on and off the court, it made sense. I'm like, okay, yeah, he was preparing me for like the bigger stage, you know, and he had already imagined before I even could put in the words that what I was gonna do.
Right.
So yeah, that's how it all started.
Yeah. I mean, back then you did not have an idea per se that, what you're getting prepared for. But did your dad like actually visualize this big of a stage for you when he was, training you?
Hmm.
Your father was thinking of that back then?
Mm, I think for sure, but I think for him also like he had this thing. So me and my sister used to play basketball. She quit now, but um he like visioned like us like car sisters playing basketball together for Indian national team. So I think that's the most he envisioned, but at the same time I feel like um me kind of like going to the letter and be like going to the NBA Academy camps and so which we I guess we're gonna get into more later. I think that's where I started with WNBA and NCAA and D1 and stuff
Yeah.
like that. But I think in that moment, like when we started, I think he just pictured me as like one of the best players for Indian national team, and I think that was his goal in that time. He just pictured me as the like one. He wanted me to be the one of the best for Indian national team and like present your country and stuff. So yeah.
Usually in Indian households, we have this, plan B backup when you're like becoming an athlete, but you want to keep that plan B as, if we fail right here, then, we have something to fall back on. So, did you have that for yourself, a plan B per se?
Ooh, this is gonna sound so cliche, but no, I didn't. I think my plan B was to work the plan A. Thankful for my parents though. They never really let me get to that point. I'm not gonna lie. Like you do have doubts. You do sometimes be like, no, all these people expect you to do this, this, this. Like, you know, like you feel that pressure. And I always say this. I think pressure does come. in your way sometimes, then I kind of bounce back and be like, I wouldn't want anyone else to have that pressure but me, even though it's really hard. Um,
Yeah.
but like I wouldn't want anyone else to do that but me. And
Yeah.
again, like going back to God, like He has called me to do this because He know that I can. So I think that's kind of like the faith comes in, even though
Yeah.
it's like it's hard to kind of believe in something that you can't see yet. And I'm
Right.
not gonna lie, like sometimes like it's really hard to be just like, oh, like keep going. And it's easy to say, but like it's hard to do. Of course, growing up, you just like you what I've seen was like going to railways team or like playing for the senior team for Punjab and like getting the gold there, beat Indian Railways, and then eventually work in railways and stuff like that. But then at the same time, I'm like, again, I'm grateful for what people do like for our country, but like to me, I was like, wait, like that's a normal life for me. Cause like I could get that. And I'm not like disgrading the level and I'm not disgrading like all that in India, but I want to
Right.
get something that not anyone else can get, like or not
Yeah.
everyone can get easily. And I
Yeah.
always like went with the mindset that I don't want a normal life. I just want something that is like risky
Right.
in a
Right.
sense.
Right.
It's risky in a sense, and it's like no one has ever done it. It's harder because you make a lot of mistakes and you learn that so that the other people don't make those. So I think not having a role model, but now becoming a role model, hopefully for a lot of girls in here in India. Um, I think that was always a plan, like you could get to WNBA, you could be the first this, you could be the first this. But anyone can learn how to shoot, like I feel like, but inspiring the next generation and inspiring the girls, and kind of showing them that there is a window and then there is a hope that if you really believe into something that you could make that happen. I think that was always the plan, yeah.
After you played for India, that hop to the NBA Global Academy,
Mhm.
that was another pretty massive move for India, I believe, because you were the first one right there. And how did that happen? How did you transition into that academy?
It's actually a funny story though. Like it was like, if I'm not wrong with the date, 2018, and I was like still playing for Punjab team. I guess like I think I started really kind of getting the hype like around 2017, 18. 18 was the main year for me. Um, there was this camp for NBA Academy in Delhi that happened. So like this NBA India posted like a story, like a reel about it, right? And I was like, I see all these girls who are obviously older than me, not in my badge, but I see all these girls like wearing this NBA Academy jersey. And
Yeah.
then NBA like sign was like, wait, this is like big
Yeah.
deal.
Yeah.
And so like when I saw that and I saw these girls like going through this camp, like running up and down, doing all those practices and stuff like that, and watching that, and with these like coaches from America, like, I'm just like, wait, like that's the level I want to go. Like I went to dad
Yeah.
and I was like so upset. I showed him the reel. I was like, yo, can I not get to that? Like
Yeah.
why couldn't they invite me? Like, stuff like that. In that time I was like still kind of like people were still getting to know me. Like I was still kind of coming out of my shell as a player. And I was like, wait, I want that. Like I want to get that. Again, I just kind of like put it out there. I guess I manifested by saying that. Um and my dad was like he didn't know any better, and he was like, "Oh, you can get that." And I'm just like, okay, that's not very convincing, Dad, but sure, okay."
Yeah.
And and I think like literally like 3, 4 months after, I got an email and like you're invited to this camp, and I was just like jumped out of my. I was sitting on the couch and jumped on the couch. It was like a normal evening for me, and I'm just like, oh my God, Dad, look. He couldn't
Yeah.
believe it because like the like title of the email, there's an NBA like a logo, and it's like
Yeah.
very like professional, right? And
Yeah.
like I got goosebumps, and I still get goosebumps by this time because like that was like really like the most like excited I ever got. And I
Yeah.
was like, wait, this is crazy. Like I'm about to go there. And so yeah, that's how it started, I think. And then I did that camp. and I was the defensive player. And then that was a really good experience. Like the coaches came up to me like after, and I was still learning. I'm not gonna lie, I was still kind of raw. Like I was still learning, and the
Yeah.
coaches came up to me, and they were like, "There's a lot of growing up to do," and I think that was humbling for me. Not that I was already thinking that I was like this something, but it's just like I'm all about honest opinion. And I think
Yeah.
that really helped me. They're like, hey, you could be next this, or you could be next this. And I'm like, nah, I don't want to be next. Like,
Yeah.
like I get it. I get it that you guys see potential in me, but like I don't want to like put all that potential just to be somebody's next, or just to be like next player
Yeah.
of this. But like me personally, like just hearing next wasn't something that I liked in that time. And so we did that camp. Then, if I remember right, 2019, second half of the year, I did the NBA, India Games camp. And that's where like I got my confidence. That's where it really started about me thinking about D1. I tell this story to everybody. Like we have this conference, like they were showing this presentation. And
Okay.
on the presentation, one of the former WNBA players, Jennifer Ezzi, came up and
Okay.
uh, she came to this slide, and this slide showed the world map. And I was like, ooh, like, and then there was like the percentages from every continent and also from India, or like some countries, like some bigger countries that the player went to America. And there was a percentage, and it said like 0.12, if I'm not wrong. And it was like, I asked myself, I was like, can I be one of those percentages? Because like it's really like a little slight chance to like really go
Yeah.
be that, but can I
Yeah.
do that? And then they did this next slide to players who went to WNBA from these countries, and there was like nothing in India, and I'm just
Yeah.
like, wait, like, can I do that? Can I be that? But it was like again something that inside, like something that I just kind of like questioned myself, and I'm like, I want to do that, you know, and that's where it all started. That's where the D1 talk started. That's where the going to NBA Global Academy started in Australia. A shout out to Maria Lettersay. We're still connected this day. She told me, she said, honey, you're good, but to be great, you have to get out of home and you have to get out of comfort zone. And I go, what do you want me to do? And she goes, you got to go to Australia. And I call my mom and I say, Mom, I got to go to Australia. And she goes, what? I say, yeah, I'm leaving in a month, Mom. Like we got to get everything right. She goes, "Oh, are you sure?" And my parents were like, "Okay, like this is where like I'm really thankful." Like they were like, "You know what? Go. Like follow your
Yes.
dream, do that, and we're here to support you no matter what."
Right.
And so again, big shout out to them too. Um,
Right.
yeah, I wouldn't be this today if my parents didn't supported me and didn't really believe in me,
Definitely.
what I was doing.
Yeah. Yeah. Like when you went to the NBA Global Academy, definitely you experienced that competition, that next level was unlocked there. But
Hmm.
obviously, when you move to the US, where it's the hub of the sport and
Hmm.
everybody's looking up to it, when you move to the University of San Diego, did you feel a complete transition of game, of competition, or did you feel like you belong there when you actually landed up finally
In
in the
in San
US?
Diego.
Yeah.
Actually, before San Diego, I don't know if you know, but like I was in a high school in Florida.
Right.
Uh,
Right. Right.
yeah,
Right.
yeah, yeah.
Yes.
And I
Yes.
think that's where it all started. Like, because I wanted to do that to kind of prepare myself, like as like a preparation to like college stage, because I still thought that there's still things that I need to work on, even to this day, you know. So did that 1 year there, loved it, but then went to San Diego, and again, like great place, great people, great coaches, great team. But I just feel like I think I did found myself as a player and as a person. Like if, for example, if I could shoot a three, or like if I could really like play basketball from outside instead of being this 6'4" post player who just have to be a center. So I think that's where I really realized, and I always had that back of my mind. But again, you have to follow the guidelines your coach give it to you, you know. So like if they want you to play a certain spot, Um, and at the end of the day, you have to help the team. I think like that's where I kind of like felt like, okay, like yes, I'm playing this spot, and yes, I'm like doing all these things to help my team, but wait, I have more to give, you know? And that's where I was just like how can I do that? But I think San Diego definitely molded me into the person that was ready to kind of like go on a next stage for sure.
Yeah.
That's where I felt like I had to transfer because like I'm like this has become my comfort zone now. So I'm like, what could be there that could be next and that could really help me and get out of that comfort zone. And that's where I was like, okay, like, you know, let's put your name in the transfer portal, like see what the options you have and all that stuff. And how I ended up in University of Rhode Island. Just
Yeah.
like loved the conversation I had with my head coach,
Right.
former head coach, Tammy Reese. Just really loved the coaching staff and the work they put in me. Because I think as a player, it's a dream, I think, to, or I would say a privilege or dream, whatever that is, um, to have a coaching staff that pours into you like 24/7. You know, like yes, like you know, I told them, listen, this is where I want to get to, and I know I only have a year, and so that's like really like coaches and everybody like really pour into me. Loved the team, loved the atmosphere because everyone was international almost. We only had like five Americans, 4 to 5 Americans, and everyone was like
Right.
from France, Finland, Canada, India. It
Yeah.
was a great environment, and I feel like I needed that kind of like,
Yeah.
you know. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, by the end of your tenure at Rhode Island, you're putting up your best numbers out there, and you had dropped your career high, I believe, in the last final season for the Rhode Island, right? At that stage, or at actually which stage, did you feel, or did it hit you that I can not only compete at the international stage and with international competition, but I can actually dominate? A lot of people do land up at the international competition level, but it's not like everybody has that feeling that you can actually
hmm
dominate after going there, to the
hmm
US.
I think people would think that it came from the results and from the numbers and from the career highs, whether it's a rebounding or scoring or assist, whatever that is. I think for me personally, it came from the workouts, from the extra work that I put in that nobody could see. Um, in the summer, what happened was it was my summer was hard. Let me tell you that. That summer, I've never had that summer grind in my whole college career, what I had in Rhode Island. So thanks to the coaching staff of Rhode Island. So I finished, it's crazy because I literally finished my classes. I gave my final exam in San Diego around the
Yeah.
22nd May, and I was in Rhode Island the next day. And I told my coach, I said, listen, I know the girls are gone because summer is the only time they can go home, and they're all from different countries. And I said, I want to work, you know. And
Yeah.
again, I don't know if I was going to get there or if I was going to really do it in 1 year. Obviously, you have those doubts, you have that pressure, be like, oh, I just have 1 year, you know, to do something and to even help the team at the end of the day. And my coach was like, you know what? Come on, like let's go, let's put in the work. And so Tammy Adini Madu, that's my position coach that was back in Rhode Island. He still is there. So they both really put in the work in me, and like it was hard. You just, I felt like the style of basketball and everything that I learned in San Diego was still ingrained in me because I was there for like almost 3, 4 years. And so it's just like learning that style and then undoing everything I learned there and then relearning something again. I think people take that for granted because people don't understand how hard it is to kind of learn this basketball and then forget this basketball, which you did for almost the whole time you were in college. So, like, yeah, working out day and night, you know, and putting in those hours and just kind of like working on those certain things that I wanted to be good at. Like, imagine as a coach, A player comes to you and say, "Hey, I've never shot a three in my life, but I feel like I'm really good at it, or feel like I can do it. So can we start working on it?" Like imagine
Yeah.
a coach really like be like, "Wait, going to the stat line, there was zero attempts for my first 3 years in college in San Diego," and then like it's hard to believe that as a coach too.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Tammy did, my head coach at Rhode Island, she did, and regardless what people say that use her size inside, she did. She believed it.
Yeah.
And so we started doing our workouts like that. We started doing our workouts like a forward, like a shooting guard, like almost like that, getting screens. Imagine
Yeah.
setting screens your whole life for your guards, and now you get screens. Like it was
Right.
a whole learning process. And I
Yeah.
wish I was there for another year. I really wish that. I could have learned a lot more. But yeah, I think those workouts, late nights, early mornings, when no one is around you, you're the only one working out, like you're so like tired. And I don't want to use that word because I hate that word, but again, I'm being honest. You're tired and you're sometimes you see stars and you're just like, what is going on? Like, what am I
Yeah.
doing? And
Yeah.
like you just so drained in the process and you're just like so into it that even growth felt painful at that time. And that I think that's where my confidence came. Like the work I put in and waking up every day, clock in, clock out on the court, off the court, taking care of myself, nutrition, especially mindset, believing in yourself, because you haven't seen the results yet. The season haven't even started yet. And you're just alone in the gym. I think that's where, like, just kind of working out, putting the reps in, that's where my confidence came. And that's where it translated to the games. At the end of the day, nothing is going to work if you don't believe in the work you put in. Like you could work, 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 but if you don't believe in that thing you're doing, I don't think it's going to translate. And that's
Yeah.
where it all started. Yeah.
From Australia to US to, you've been places, and at the end of the day, you were an Indian girl making to the top, right? Did you feel ever that,
Hmm.
that's an Indian girl making it to the top, that's an Indian girl making it to the league? Did
Hmm.
you feel that ever in
All the
all
time.
this journey? Yeah?
Till this day. Till this
Yeah.
day. That's a great
Yeah.
question. That's a great question. Till this day, I think, oof, I get goosebumps. It's just like it's a good thing. Like for India, look at this girl. She's presenting her country, like she's representing it on a big stage, but like you don't really see like the deep down, like going to Australia, like there's a whole Australian girls and then there's an Indian girl working out, you know, and it's their home. And then this girl comes in and it's like the Indian girl, like, you get that title all the time. And I'm proud of that, but
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, it took me a long time to embrace the uniqueness of my identity because when you get out of country, you want to fit in, you want to make sure you make friends, but again, you just want to mix, like you just want to like mash into
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
But like I think I realized later on in San Diego, like that's where I realized I'm like, no, like I don't have to fit in. Of course, I have to
Mhm.
adapt to the lifestyle or to the way of eating or the way of playing or the way of like talking to people, you know, because we don't interact in English in India, like, so it's just like, of course I knew English, but like even that accent, so it's just like those things that made me the Indian girl I was scared of. I was still young when I left home. I'm 15, 16. And another day I talked to somebody about it too. I I always felt like I was the odd one out, you know.
Right.
It was hard, like being the odd one out. And I think then later on, I started embracing the fact that I am different, you know. I
Yeah.
am that Indian girl, I am that person who uh, you probably never heard of. Even the
Yeah.
country you probably never heard of in a basketball world,
Yeah.
And yes, like embracing the fact that I am unique, embracing the fact that I'm different, embracing the fact that I am the odd one out. Um, and it's okay. It's okay to be the odd one out. It's okay to be different. It's okay to be unique. Um, and you don't have to fit in. But I think that was my biggest challenge, like really kind of like being grateful and finding joy into being different and
Yeah.
not being scared of your, let's
Right.
say, your accent, or not being scared of coming off in a wrong way because you just don't know the language like that. Like, is there, I
Yeah.
mean, even like a basketball in India? Like, people, I've heard that questions before. And I'm just like,
Yeah.
yeah, you will see, bro. Like, you'll
Yeah.
see. So, yeah, I think that was my biggest challenge. And
Yeah.
kind of like, again, I want to phrase it in a way like just being comfortable in your own skin and just kind of
Right.
loving yourself and being in
Right.
joy that you are this person. And it's okay if people want to label it as Indian person. And I'm just a girl who have a dream. I'm just a girl who wants to play basketball and wants to play the game she loves. So that's how I see it now.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Right. Right.
That,
Do you like have any particular suggestions when you
mm,
see the Indian basketball ecosystem at the moment as a whole, and like if you feel like these one or two things might actually change things and take it to the next level, because there are players, there is a fan base, like people want to deny it, but there is a fan base. People watch NBA in India and people are crazy about basketball. What is it that we're looking for to take it to the next level?
for men, I wouldn't want to change anything because you could take them on more exposure trips, I guess. Like I think like for India basketball, the one thing we could, if we watch enough film on the things, but again, that leaves me with women. Because, like, when I played basketball for the national team for like 2 years, there was no film. There was, but like coming back from America now, and I think the one difference is like we watch a lot of film and it humbles us. Like, watching film for 30 minutes on what you did wrong in the whole game, it's it's I think humbling. Sometimes a visual representation on what you need to do before you go do it, it's I think really helpful. And I think that, like in basketball, like I think that's something we need to emphasize more. Like watching a film on how many times you make mistakes in front of your whole team, like that takes a lot of guts. Coming in India, if I were ever to become a coach for Indian national team, um, for women, I would definitely. I think that will be my biggest emphasis.
You went out to basically find that next level, right?
Hmm.
But do you feel like right now with Indian
In
basketball,
India, okay.
these guys have to like get out to reach that level, and they're not like they'll not be able to do it staying in the system, like within the country? Is that the only solution to
Mm.
probably making it that big?
Okay, no, really, really good question. So I think, well, to me personally, I nothing against, again, nothing against the Indian team and the Indian system, but I wouldn't have grown as a player if I didn't get out. I wouldn't have grown or become this human that has made me the experiences I had if I didn't go to Australia or Florida or America, and just being this the Indian girl and kind of like going through these things alone. And like I feel like it's not just basketball that makes you a good basketball player. It's the mindset you have, it's the people you surround yourself with, it's the good company, it's the good coaching, in like the thinking of like what you really want to do and are you really set on it? Because yes, you can go play D1, not saying it's not hard. You could play D1,
Yeah.
come back and then play for Indian national team and you can use all the growth that you had in D1, which I've seen a lot of players do that, like example Sanjana Ramesh, and help the team and
Yeah.
stuff like that. And
Yeah.
so all these players, Gitu and Josh, who did this Chicago
Yeah.
Sky camp and then come back. I think she did another team too.
It
So
was. Yeah.
bringing, I think those are the things that helped grow basketball in women.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
again, like I think people who went outside, learned the game, played D1, did the camp, or played in Australia, all that stuff, I think they brought something to India. Like they brought that spark. I remember I was like 15 and I was in a
Hmm.
camp and
Hmm.
watching Gina, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
she is old, but she is nonstop.
Yeah.
She
Yeah.
plays, she's so athletic. Like,
Yeah.
to be to be great or to be great in whatever you do, you have to get out of your comfort zone. And if being in Indian system is your comfort zone or has become your comfort zone, you have to get out of it to learn the game or to just learn the system. And eventually, yes, I'm being this pro and I have this goal and all that. But at the end of the day, I want to present Indian national team. I do want to take India to like a greater stage. I do want to put India on the map. And in order to do that, I feel like I still have to keep working on these things and keep doing this thing like being a pro or go to WNBA or being a D1 player. Um, or dominate in D1. Like I think those all things gonna help me bring my Indian national team up. The way I move, the way I work, the way my lifestyle is. Maybe someone from Indian national team will see and be like, whoa, I want to do that. I want to be that disciplined. I want to have that habit. And I think that's where, like, I think you have to get out. You have to get out too. And that's where I'm saying we need the exposure trips. Like, we don't have to be D1 to be a best player in Indian national team. No. But I think nowadays, now that how basketball has grown, than 5 years ago. Like you have to have those exposure trips, or maybe call the teams from different countries, bring them to India, play for 2 days with them, get a reality check, and be like, oh, okay, maybe we were bad in this. How can we get better? And that's where the film comes in. And but I think yes, you either you have to get out or you have to bring the outside here,
Yeah.
to show what
Yeah.
we're really missing or to show what
Right.
we really work on.
You are, I think, 6 feet 4,
Yep.
right? Yeah. So to be quite honest, like as a 6'4" athlete, a woman athlete, and often like this Indian genetics debate comes in between. Whenever we are talking about why India is
Mhm.
not going to the next level, someone pops in and says that the height structure and the build of the players. Do
Mhm.
you feel like you're an outlier in this? Like you don't usually see an Indian player with that build. But
Yeah,
yeah, have you ever thought about that?
it's just like my both parents were like they were like my mom was a volleyball player for the national team and my
Right, right.
dad was all India University games for
Yeah,
basketball. So yes,
yeah,
I come from the sports athletic background,
yeah,
but at the same time like our genes, I think they're not always athletic as
yeah,
others are.
yeah,
But yeah, like every time I go like in a like even in India, every time I go to like a tournament to watch girls, it's just like they're like she's not from here and I'm just like no bro, like I was born here, and so yes, I do get that a lot because like the body physique and the genes and all that stuff, like it's not usual for, again, like you said, for a woman at this height and like even like being proportional as a 6'4". But I
yeah,
worked on
yeah.
that a
Right.
lot. I always had
Yeah,
that like insecurity. Like I always like even like if you see you've probably seen it, but if you see the pictures from NBA Academy, the
I
first
remember.
first
Yeah.
camp.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
like when you
Yeah.
see them now, like when you see me now,
Yeah.
it's so different. And
Yeah.
I have
Yeah.
worked so much to be that, like be this right now. And there's a lot I could still improve. But like I think it was just work. So like when people come across me and they make comments like that, or like, oh, we've never seen an Indian girl, or we like never seen that. And so that's where again, going back to the part that going outside your comfort zone, leaving the country, and there it's normal. In America, in Australia, it's normal. There, like you expect it to be that. And if I am the forward, or if I want to be the shooter, like I'm expected to have this body physique or look like this, or like lift every day or stuff like that. But I think women, maybe nowadays they do, but like we weren't supposed to, even especially for me, like everybody was like, honey, like don't lift too much, like you're gonna be looking like this, you're gonna have shoulders like a man, or you're gonna look like this. And I'm just like, block all that noise, because you need that to be whatever I want to be. I need that to be whatever I want to be. So again, like just kind of being comfortable in my own skin, even though they have comments every day. Like I hear it almost every day in my Instagram, or a post, or if I posted a video of me working out, they're just like, whoa, we never seen an Indian like that, or we never seen an Indian woman 6'4". It's the Indian woman. And I'm just like, well, you're about to see. Like, I
Yeah.
don't know what else to do. Like, I can't sit here fight you in comments, but you're about to
Yeah.
see, because it is possible an Indian woman can do this, or be athletic, or be this, or look like this, and still get the job done, you know? And so, I think, yeah, like, I think later on, just I start embracing it and just kind of blocking out these people's stereotypes. Because again, I'm not fitting in the box. I was never meant to fit in a box, and it's them trying to put you in the box back, like they're trying to like make those stereotypes. What I say to those people is like, can you please normalize women that look like this, or women that want to have this body build and physique? I think it's not normalized in our society, and it's so hard to live in it, because every time I go to a village like where my grandma is, people are just like, whoa, we don't want to go near her. And I'm just like, cool by me. Like, like you keep your distance, because like I do come up as this strong woman that you can't really mess with. You just don't want to be in her way. So I think I'm used to it now, you know. And I've
Yeah.
I've normalized it in my head, because I have to, because it will eat me every day if I don't. Um, but to the society, it's still not normalized. And I'm okay with that.
Yeah. You're just 22 years old, and from an athlete standpoint, you're really racing up quickly. You've made it to the Greek league, and so every player does think from that point of view that every female bowler will be like, yeah, I want to make it to the WNBA, because that is what it is. Like that is the ultimate level where you want to be. But have you like genuinely visualized yourself there when you say that you want to be in the WNBA? That sort of a thing is different, because many people do
Hmm.
visualize you there. So
Yeah. That is my dream. Like that is my ultimate goal. Uh, it's just scary, because like again, no one has ever done it. And I think me saying it out loud sometimes scares me too. But like again, I think I picture myself, that's my ultimate goal. Like that's where I'm gonna stop. Like, like I'm not gonna stop until like, yes, like the other day this person, they were interviewing me, and they were like, oh my God, this is great. And I'm just like, no, the job is not done yet. I didn't picture myself being the first in Europe. I didn't. I'll be honest to you. I didn't picture that. I always pictured being first in the WNBA, you know, or like even, well, not even being first, just like being in the WNBA. Because like to me putting all this work, me going to D1, me going to Australia, me leaving country at this age, and it's just like, for what? You know? Like it has to be like, I believe that saying it out loud, again, believing it too, but saying it out loud, like also like kind of helps me remind myself that, wait, this is your why.
yeah.
This is why you started. This is why you wanted to be the first. This is why you wanted to leave your country to do that and leave for all these years where you could have played for Indian national team, you
Right.
know?
Right.
And it's not fair to Indian national team because like I kind of like paused that for this goal and for D1 and all that stuff that could get me there, like
Right.
for nothing, So it's just like,
Mhm.
yes, I do see myself, and I do see myself playing there in a couple of years. But at the same time, I feel like right now, though, like my focus is on this pro in Europe. Like I wanna play basketball, make money, and basically, that has become my job now. Basically
Yeah.
hoop and you make money. And I think that's the
Yeah.
best you could ever ask for because you're
Yeah.
literally playing the game you love. But yes, no, I do see myself, and I'm not gonna stop until that happens.
Yeah.
And it's on your newspapers, your name is out there, it's on your Instagram, it's on the comments, honey core this, honey core this, WNBA, WNBA. And it's just like I love that all these people believe in that, but then I think they're hoping that I make it. And it's a good thing. You guys can hope, but I'm going to, like, I'm going to do that. And it's like hope is not enough for me, and talking is not enough for me. Talking about it is not enough for me. It's the work that I put in. It's every day, every night. People don't see you sweat. People don't see you work. All people see is the Instagram. All people see is 20-point games or leading scorer, but they don't see what you put in to that, what
Hmm.
you poured into that, what you sacrificed to get there. And so I believe in my work,
Yeah.
and I believe in um, the day in and day out, the clock in, the clock out, the mindset I have. I believe in that, and I know that is what really gonna get me there. It's not the
Yeah.
Instagram, it's not the social media, it's not even the newspapers, and sorry, it's not even the interviews. It's my work,
Yeah.
and it's my
Definitely.
it's literally just my work and my goal, and
Yeah.
that's why, like, I don't like the word hope because I don't hope that I'm gonna be there. Like, I'm never gonna say hopefully I'm gonna get there. I'm gonna
Yeah.
get there. Like, the
Yeah.
only way that I can't get there is if God really breaks me or something, you know. But like, so yeah, other day this guy said, "Oh, your work paid off." I say, "No, no, it doesn't. I'm just an Indian girl for this country's, but again, I'm a human who have a goal and who wants to play in WNBA, just like others who are playing in WNBA. But it just increases my marketing value just because I'm Indian. But again, at the end of the day, I'm human, and I had to really work to be athletic. I had to really work to shoot a three. I had to really work to do all these things or to even learn to how to dominate. Like, those things didn't just came natural to me. Like, that wasn't a God gift. My height was, thanks to my
Yeah.
parents. Um, but everything else, I earned it, and it was so hard. And like, this is actually the quote that I go by, is like, your path is harder because your calling is higher. And
Yeah.
I go by that every day, because everything that I got in my life to this point
Yeah.
has been so hard to earn.
Yeah.
And it's just like, and when people say work paid off, it didn't, because the job is not done. It's not going to be done. I'm not satisfied, so it's going to be done when I make that happen. And so, yeah, I do believe that I will, and I'm going to. So, yeah.
Yes. Rooting for you every time. I think, yeah, from my end, this is it. But thank you so much for this and all the very best for your future.